Wilbur Ross there speaking to our very own Karian Joji. David Costa, Dean of Robert Kennedy College, joins us now from Zurich. David, let's talk a little bit more about the fact that the ECB really can't get away from the fact that if anything goes through in the size and scope that we're talking about, they really can't get away from the fact that they're going to have to print a lot. You're also hearing from various officials, as you normally do ahead of these meetings, that maybe it's not as concrete a plan as they thought, that they have to go back to the table and negotiate with the banks themselves. How much of a concrete plan can we actually get tomorrow?
Good morning. Well, we can get as concrete plan as we can get from Europe. So I don't expect a huge surprise, but certainly we were going to see something to give more certainty to the markets. So I do expect some important news tomorrow, because that's pretty much what the market is looking at. But at the same time, given still so much to discuss with the banks and so on, I might also price in some situation where we don't have a final answer tomorrow, but there will be still a deferral. Though tomorrow we're going to see probably a plan of what is going to happen and some fixed dates. But we could also be surprised and see tomorrow already a stronger resolution of the problem.
It's interesting you say that. I know you're quite optimistic usually, David, but I think the question here seems to be that there are internal documents going around in the EU about the fact that the Germans are not completely on the page yet. Today we'll find out how together they are with that plan. You've got so many options out there, 1 trillion figure being thrown around. Is that enough to satisfy the market till they have another date for another plan that might be a little bit more concrete than tomorrow?
But I think, as I said, the process in Europe is not as fast as people might expect. And that has been always the problem throughout this crisis. And I don't expect this to change all of a sudden tomorrow. What I do expect, however, is to see some good news also from Italy, that they will implement the reform that they are long awaited from Europe. And that probably, combined with some more promises, is going to probably give a good signal to the market. Whether $1 billion is sufficient or not, it really depends on the reforms that goes together with the intervention.
Hi, good morning, David. You know, despite these uncertainties, quite a number of our guests actually saying the materials, commodities sector, quite a bit of a buying opportunity given their recent falls. As we get some flashes regarding the situation in Thailand, that they're going to declare a 5-day holiday because of the floods, Japan's steel industry body is saying, in fact, the global financial woes and Thai floods may cut Japan's 11 and 12 crude steel output by 1 million tons. Does that make this more of a screaming buy for some of the commodities, some of these steel producers in Europe with exposure to Asia, such as Japan?
Yes, I think so, because commodities have been one of the first casualties on this crisis, and immediately when they started talking about a possible slowdown and a possible recession, commodities have been highly penalized. And so at the moment, for all those investors which do not have yet commodities in their portfolio, being commodity companies or commodity directly through a broad commodity index, this may be a very good entry point for the future, because they are priced in for a recession, which I don't see happening either in Europe or America. So that's certainly a place where I see a lot of value and a good buying opportunity.
David, appreciate your time. Thanks very much for joining us. David Costa, the Dean of Robert Kennedy College. In the